Okay, we're rolling.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Podcast series. It's Dave with you. Hope you're doing well. Episode 791. Wow, we're getting dangerously close to 800 episodes. This is amazing. Thanks for being here. I wanted to talk about co-hosting and how to become the co-host your podcast needs and some things that your co-host might be afraid to tell you. I'm going to do it for them. So we'll get rid of all that awkwardness and I'll do it on their behalf and get you maybe to talk to them about these things. So if your co-host has sent you this episode, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, some of this might be for your show and your relationship with that co-host who sent this to you. I'm Dave, host of the podcast and 8 other shows, 2,500 episodes over the last, I'm in my 8th year now. I love podcasting and I have 9 different podcasts and loving every minute of it. And I love having time with you. So welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast. What do we do differently here? Podcast is all about community, not about my opinion about podcasting. I'm just the host of the show. I just want to encourage as many people as possible who want to podcast that there's room for you and we can help. Howtopodcast.ca. That's where you can find all my stuff. Glad you're here. Let's get into this. I want to make you aware of something that you can find at howtopodcast.ca. It's my calendar link. It's right there on my website. And it allows us to get together for 30 minutes. It's completely free. You can use it as often as you want. The more, the better, from my perspective. And it's there for a reason. I want to be able to help people beyond the podcast. It's one thing to record an episode, put it out in the world, and you listen to it, and we go on with our day. But sometimes people are like, I wish I could just talk to the host of the podcast and have some time with them. Well, we can have a virtual coffee together and talk about anything to do with podcasting. If you would rather do it in more of a group setting, we have our meetups, which is also on howtopodcast.ca. And you can join us anytime you want and come be a part of a free community. We meet Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I'd love for you to come join us. It's, totally free. And you get the group knowledge instead of just Dave. So if whatever you want, one-on-one time or group, we got it covered at howtopodcast.ca because community is the heartbeat of podcasting. And we need you there. All right, let's get going with this. So I don't have a podcast with a dedicated co-host, like the same co-host every episode. I have this show where we have drop-in guest co-hosts who come in for one episode or more, and they're from all around the podcasting world, and we get a variety of people that come through the door as a co-host. I'm always looking for guest co-hosts, so don't threaten me with a good time. I would love to have you here as well. And you're like, oh, Dave, but I'm not an expert. Yeah, that's exactly right. Great. We can still have a conversation, right? You don't have to be an expert to have a conversation. And it's good practice. And you get to promote your podcast or your podcast idea. It's all here. And I'd love, love, love to have you join us. So keep that in mind. So I don't have a regular co-host that I work with every episode, but maybe you do. And you get together on a regular basis and you do this thing called podcasting together, which I like the idea that you're not doing this by yourself. Because sometimes people say, I don't want to podcast as a solo podcaster. I got to have somebody to play off of. I got to have somebody to talk to. It feels weird to podcast as a solo podcaster, which I'm doing right now. It's not actually that weird. It just takes practice to do this solo podcasting. But co-hosting might be the thing for you. A great co-host can bring some excellent elements to your show that can really help you to make a great podcast. And it's nice to have someone else kind of share the weight of the show with you. They can help you with how you prepare for your show and how your show is presented. They can also help you with some of the behind the scenes stuff that goes along with the podcast. There's a lot of things we can share when it's more than one person carrying the full weight of the show. That division of tasks can be really nice to have, especially if you have kind of one skill set and your co-host has a different skill set that complements what you can do. It's kind of hard when you both have the same skill set. Like you both love editing. You're like, oh, now we're going to fight over editing. But if one loves editing and one loves promotion, then that's a great mix. If one likes content creation and the other one likes interviewing, that's kind of neat. There's a lot of different things that two different people with two different points of view and two different passions together in one space can really complement. And it's kind of cool for the audience too, when you have a co-hosted podcast, especially if you're doing it with the same co-host on a regular basis, because the audience starts to pick their favorite. Oh, I like Dave, and I like the other person. I like the other person more than Dave. And then you get little camps who build around the co-hosts. And you kind of reach different audiences within the same show because you have two different personalities that people can cling to. So that's kind of a bonus, a benefit for sure. There's a downside to podcast co-hosting, and there are a few things that your co-host, they might want to tell you, and I'm here to do the dirty work here today. So here's a couple things, three things that your co-host might be afraid to tell you. I'm going to do it for them. You ready? Okay, hold on. This is not a personal attack. This is, and don't shoot the messenger. I'm just here to do the show. So here's some things that may or may not be what your co-host wishes they could say to you, but they're afraid to. I'm not. Okay, here we go. First, your co-host, on behalf of them, they're asking me to come and tell you this. Please come prepared to recording. Please come prepared to the podcast. Maybe you're not coming prepared. Maybe you're just showing up and hoping for the best. Okay? Your co-host is asking you to please come prepared, to put in the work. Your co-host should not have to carry the conversation because you arrived without knowing the topic or the guest or the goal of the show. You're just there as the talent. You're the talent. Wow. Yeah, we don't just ride in here and live off our coattails. That's not how this happens. We're a group. We're a team. And one member of the team can't do all the work. That three-legged race thing, where you stand beside somebody, it's a race, and you got to tie your two legs together. So it would be your left leg and their right leg, and they're tied together. Now there's three legs. And you got to run, right? One person can't do all the running if it's a three-legged race. That's going to be really weird. So you have to work together, and you got to figure out your stride, and you got to figure out your strategy, and you have to be in sync. Otherwise, you look like you have no idea what you're doing. And it's very comical, and people are going to laugh and point. And you don't want anybody laughing and pointing at you or your podcast or your three-legged race. So please show up and please come prepared. It's going to really help your show. Preparation gives both of you confidence, and it also helps to create the spontaneous moments that could happen, but when you create the space for them to happen, it works much better. So, your co-host has asked me to tell you, please come prepared to the next episode and stop showing up unprepared. It really sucks. And they don't want to do all the work anymore. They don't want to carry this and you get all the credit for half of nothing. You've done nothing and you're still co-hosting. They're tired and they need you to step in. Don't come unprepared anymore. Stop it. They've asked me to tell you that. Second, they've asked me to say to you, on behalf of them, because they're afraid to say this to you, you might get angry. I really don't care if you get angry with me, and you're not my co-host, so I got no skin in the game here at all. So I'm going to say for them on their behalf, please listen to your co-host. Yeah, please listen to your co-host. Now, when I say please listen to your co-host, I mean in every part of your show, from the preparation, through the recording, through the editing, the promotion, and the ready for the next episode. You need to listen through all of it, not just selected parts of it. Everything. Listen to your co-host. Your co-host wants you to hear what they are actually saying. In the recording, for example, they may introduce an idea that deserves a follow-up question or an open discussion that maybe goes in a different direction. They're putting out opportunities for you to interact, but when you're not paying attention and you're not fully listening or engaged, you're not fully there, you're just kind of there, you're kind of phoning it in. They're carrying the weight of the show, and they're getting tired of it, and they're getting annoyed with you, and they are possibly hoping that you never come back. And then a new co-host is going to show up and help and listen. Because when only one person is listening and the other one's not, it's not a co-hosted situation. It's a solo podcast and a Klingon. You're a Klingon. That's who you are. You're just hanging around, soaking up all of somebody else's efforts. And that's called lazy. And we don't need a lazy co-host. So please listen to your co-host. Keep in mind, too, that if you spend the entire recording process waiting for your turn, you will miss the opportunities presented in the conversation. So listen closely, respond naturally, and participate. And don't keep talking over your co-host, right? Give them some space. If you were dancing with your co-host, which might be weird to dance with your co-host, or picture this situation where you're dancing with them and you just keep stepping all over their feet, they're not going to want to dance with you anymore because you're hurting their toes. And when you step all over people, especially your co-host or your guest, because you're not listening, it's awkward, it's painful, and it's annoying. So please listen to your co-host. Again, they've asked me to tell you this. Lastly, please carry your share of the show. When you start a podcast with a co-host, plan it out ahead of time. You're going to take care of these elements of the show, and I'm going to take care of these ones. These are your responsibility. If they don't happen, it's on you. These are my responsibilities. If it doesn't happen, it's on me. And we both have to do and be accountable to what we've been assigned to do and agreed to do. And the other person's not going to save you or save the day. You have to step up and do your part. And it's not my job to babysit you and remind you and be on you and get you to commit to follow up. I don't have to chase you. I shouldn't have to chase you to do your part. It's a co-hosted arrangement. So whatever you two agree on, then you're both accountable for that. And you shouldn't have to babysit each other. That's ridiculous. We're adults here, okay? So do the thing that you've been asked to do and do it well. Focus on it. Find ways to improve it. Make it better. And it's going to relieve so much stress. And if there's stress between you and your co-host, whether you realize it or not, it's going to come through the microphone. And you're going to sound disengaged. Your co-host might sound annoyed with you. It's going to show up on the mic. And when it shows up on the mic, it's going to be very obvious. And your audience is going to be like, something's wrong with Dave. Why does Dave seem so distracted or angry today? What's happening? Oh, Buddy, who was supposed to be my co-host, forgot to prep for today. And now I have to do all the questions for the guest. And I have to do the editing. And I got to do the promo because Buddy forgot to do any of the things he's supposed to do. And now it's all on me, I guess, or otherwise the show doesn't go out. So I guess it's my job. That's not a good look. So please carry your weight of the show. Whatever you've been assigned to do, editing, scheduling, production, promotion, whatever it is, that's your responsibility. You own it. And you better not drop the ball. Because if you do, it's not going to be good. You've agreed to be a co-host. So step up, do your part. It's really important. Now, that's kind of the three things that your co-host may or may not want you to know. Probably they more than likely do want you to know. And it hasn't come up yet. And they're nervous to tell you. But I'll tell you on their behalf. Show up. Come on. Come prepared. Please listen to them. And please carry your weight of the show. That's your jobs. Now, some more positive stuff. Some of the things that a co-host can do for you, if you're planning on doing this in your show, is a co-host can really help you to keep the conversation moving when you get together. As a solo podcaster or a solo podcaster that interviews, it's really hard to keep the conversation going. You're doing so many things in real time. Especially if you're going to go live and do a live to tape type thing in front of an audience with a chat room and live streaming. Oh my gosh, that's just a nightmare for a new podcaster to do. Or you're doing an interview on Zoom or whatever you're using, and you're dealing with the guest. It's nice to have somebody else's point of view there as well. That third wheel is really nice to have and fall back on, because you might get to a part where you're not really sure where to go next, and your co-host can step in and just be like, save the day and take it in a new direction, or see it differently, or disagree with you, or see it in a different context, and maybe offers a different light on the topic, which then opens the door for better conversation. And again, if you're a solo podcaster with no interviews, just you only know what you know. So by having somebody else with you, it gives you the opportunity to play off of them and ask for their experience, their insight, their knowledge, because they're their own unique person and they may see it totally different than you. Having a great co-host really helps move the conversation forward. And what I love is having somebody who doesn't think like you and doesn't complete your sentences, really, in the sense that they agree with everything that you agree with. Because that's kind of boring. You know, hey, what's your favorite color? Blue. What's yours? Mine's blue too. Okay, what's your favorite song? This song. That's my favorite song. What's your favorite movie? And, okay, let's say it together. Princess Bride. Yeah, you're like, okay, come on. Like, it's just like two of the same people. And you agree on everything. So that means one of you is irrelevant. You need somebody with a different outlook, maybe a little combative, a little, hey, that's not what I think. I think it's this way. And that's nice, because then the audience gets to think of it in different terms. Because I can tell you, there's someone listening to your show and they don't agree with you on everything. Probably somebody listening to the show right now that doesn't agree with me. But it's nice to have somebody else on the show to represent them and say, Dave, I don't think that works. Oh, that doesn't work for me. I've tried it this way. And this way worked better for me. It's different than your way. It's better this way for me. And that's what I do. That's kind of nice. And that's why I like bringing co-hosts on this show. I've had people on the show that I disagree with completely. I don't like how they do approach podcasting, but there's no rules, Dave. And I have to remind myself that I'm not the king of podcasting. Nobody is the king of podcasting, by the way. Nobody's figured this all out. We're all learning as we go. So keep that in mind. But a good co-host is going to help you move the conversation forward and acts like a proxy for the audience. They notice some of the interesting comments happening as a listener. As you're doing your part, they're listening and picking up on some of the loose ends and helping to finalize for the listener kind of the experience. A good co-host acts on behalf of the audience so that you don't miss an opportunity to connect. That's their job. They're kind of like the back catcher. When the pitcher throws the ball, the back catcher catches it. The two of them work together. And otherwise, they'll be chasing baseballs all over the place. The back catcher directs the calls, picks the next throw, catches the ball, watches the field, and has the pitcher's back. The pitcher can't see what's happening behind him, but the back catcher can. It can actually give little signals and things that can teach and show the pitcher, hey, we have to go this direction now. Something's changed. You're not aware of it. I am. Let's go this way instead. And the pitcher has to really trust the catcher, and the catcher has to trust the pitcher. Great symbol for a co-hosted podcast. Somebody's pitching, somebody's catching. That's how it works. The other part is a good co-host can help you to bring the right energy to the show. You know, there's something funny about life. Life happens. It does. Sometimes things are great. Sometimes you've had 2 floods in 5 days and you've lost everything you own. Sometimes life sucks and life happens. Sometimes personal circumstances make recording difficult and taking a break makes sense. Every day we get faced with frustrations and things that get in our way of podcasting. And it's nice to have a co-host who carries those frustrations for us and kind of jumps in and helps and supports us when we can't even meet our own obligations to the podcast. There's a spirit of energy and collaboration and sharing. And having the right person with you can really fix bad energy and a bad day. It's nice to have somebody there with you who just gets it. When you get together with your co-host and things aren't going well, leave those minor things outside of the recording if you can, and show up ready to create something together. And you need to sometimes change your mentality and your attitude when you come to the show, because we don't need half of your show lamenting about how life sucks. We're here for another reason. So your co-host can really help you there. A big part of this too is when you enter into co-host relationship, your job, both of you, is to protect the partnership at all costs. It's kind of like a marriage in a way. Like I was told when we were getting married, my wife and I, that there's 3 parts to the relationship. There's your part, there's your partner's part, and then there's the marriage itself. All 3 are equal. They're all equal parts, and they all deserve attention. So you deserve attention, your partner deserves attention, and the marriage deserves attention. So in your podcast, you deserve attention as the co-host, your co-host deserves attention, and the podcast deserves attention, all 3 of you. But you need to protect this and put guards up around it so that it's safe. The chemistry that you have with your co-host, it depends on the relationship between the people behind the microphones. Small little irritants and frustrations, one person not carrying their weight, one person doing all the work, one person getting all the glory, one person not, one person making more money than the other one. There's a lot of things that can really irritate a relationship, just like a marriage. And these small frustrations build over time. So the co-hosts need to have honest conversations with each other about preparation, about expectations and workload, communication, all of that needs to be crystal clear. Talk about the problems early in your relationship with your co-host. Ask what your co-host needs from you on a regular basis. You can always flip the dynamic and come at it from as place of service instead of a place of accusation, and give your co-host the space to tell you what works and what does not work. This is a relationship. It's not just a podcast anymore. It's a relationship between the 2 of you. A strong co-host prepares without over-rehearsing. A strong co-host listens instead of waiting for a cue. And a strong co-host brings positive energy to the show. All of this is built around carrying their share of the work. Your co-host may never say these things directly to you. So create a partnership where they feel comfortable, like really comfortable coming to you. And there's no awkwardness. Great podcast chemistry grows from both people feeling heard, supported, and valued. One other little thing I would say at the end, because podcast co-hosting is a relationship, typically a podcast is created under one email address, one credit card payment. So one person kind of owns a chunk of the show. What I would encourage you to do maybe every 6 months, every quarter, more than once a year, is to have that difficult conversation. How are things going? Is everything still working? Are we still going to move forward? Are we going to continue? What am I doing that I should not and should do? And let's just kind of have this talk, because those little frustrations that are unchecked are going to just compound over time. And then you get envy and anger just festering behind the scenes, can destroy the best co-host situation. So keep that in mind, and heed the warnings from the episode today. And if you ever just want to have like an intervention with your co-host and have the difficult conversation, then please reach out to me. We can get together and do a virtual coffee together, and I will be the middle person and help and kind of navigate the conversations. I will be the bad guy and ask all the hard questions, so you don't have to. Howtopodcast.ca. Happy to help. I'd love to see your podcast continue and your co-host relationship go strong for years and years and years. If you need help, let me know. Glad to help. howtopodcast.ca. Take care. Hey, if you found value in the show, I'd really appreciate you going over to our Buy Me a Coffee. Check it out. People have been wonderfully kind and helping support the show by purchasing Dave a coffee. And, my coffee is generally always like, I got a quarter of a cup and I'm like, I should have drank all that. I need to refill. So if you can help the show, awesome. For you that have a Buy Me a Coffee or considering it, keep in mind too that you can set up like a Patreon style of monthly support for your show through Buy Me a Coffee, where you can set up levels and people can pay at different levels for different amounts. And it's a monthly ongoing payment, not just a single coffee purchase. So I love that for us as podcasters, that we can start building into our community and give them extra value. You can set the tiers, you can set the bonuses and what's available at each tier. I wouldn't go too high, but I wouldn't go too low as well. And set up different tiers and let your audience do that. I've actually set it up and I've already had my first membership, which is outstanding. Ralph, thank you. It's great to have people in our world that support us as podcasters, and Buy Me a Coffee allows you to do that Patreon style without being on Patreon. So if you want to, and you already have Buy Me a Coffee, you're considering between the two, try that. Because again, Buy Me a Coffee allows you to have the benefit of one-time coffee purchases or monthly, like a Patreon. They also have a storefront. And you can create, like if you're an author, you could have a bonus chapter that didn't make it in your book. People can buy that. You could have a private podcast that's only available through paid access to that private, non-public facing podcast. So you can have something very special, very unique, and use your storefront on Buy Me a Coffee to be the way to handle all the transaction fees and the credit cards and all that. There's a setting also in Buy Me a Coffee I'd encourage you to turn on where you will cover any kind of credit card fees for anybody that gives to your show through Buy Me a Coffee. I turn that on. I don't want you to have to pay a credit card fee to support my show, so I'll eat that cost. So think about that. Buy Me a Coffee. It's there on the howtopodcast.ca website in the show notes. Thanks for your support. We'll talk to you soon. Hey, you're still here? Awesome. Great. Question came in from a podcaster. They're setting up their recording space and they have a dedicated space, which is a bonus. Having a temporary space is a pain in the butt to set up, tear down, set up, tear down. Oh, it's supper. I got to tear everything down. Oh, supper's over. I got to set everything back up again. It's a pain. And it's hard on your equipment too, to do that over and over and over. So having a dedicated space is a good thing. And I'm glad to see this person's doing that. But they're saying, Dave, my room that I'm in wasn't designed as a studio. Obviously, it was a bedroom or a basement or a lower level or a closet. It wasn't designed as a podcast space. What do I need to do? Well, for sound treating, the biggest thing is soft surfaces. If you're in a hard surface room, you're going to feel it, hear it. You're probably going to hear it in this episode because I'm recording in a kitchen. I'm surrounded by hardwood floors, cabinets. There's not a lot of soft around here. So a couch, a bed, a blanket, a pillow, any of these things are going to help absorb the sound. Just imagine the words coming out of your mouth and then bouncing off hard things right back to you, or bouncing around the room like one of those like crazy ball things that you bounce it and it goes all over the place, or super high up in the air. I always had mine bounce up onto the school roof and I never got it back. So I'm sad. Those kind of crazy bouncing ball things, that's what's happening with your voice. Your words are coming out of your mouth, hitting everything hard and bouncing around the room, and that causes echo and it makes you feel kind of, I hear it when I listen back because I'm recording in the kitchen and it's all I can do right now until I get my studio rebuilt. So this is a great example. I don't really enjoy the sound of this podcast the way it is, but it is what it is. My encouragement for you, sound matters. Find the quietest place you can in the room. Try not to be near street noise. So if you live in an apartment in Manhattan, it's kind of hard not to hear the fire trucks as they go by every 10 seconds. So try to find the quietest place you can. A closet does work well, has clothes hanging in it. Really hard to do an interview podcast on camera with that. Looks really funny. to see your clothes, but whatever works for you. Try to find the softest place possible. Surround yourself with pillows and blankets, even if it's off camera. And anything you can do to keep your place soft and quiet, that's going to help. If you need help, reach out anytime. Happy to help. Howtopodcast.ca. Take care.